Heat dropped the first game to the Celtics in one that was really never close. They lose by 20, 114 to 94. The Celtics got off to a blistering start in this game, making, I believe, 6 of their first 8 shots, including 4 of them from beyond the arc, and the Heat fell down 14-0. They ultimately battled back and made it a 5-point game going into the first quarter, and then after that, it was all Boston the entire way. And I have a lot of thoughts on today's game, and if you're going to come on here and expect me to say that season's over, you came to the wrong spot, because I do have some optimism for the future. I mean, there were some nice things that happened in the fourth quarter, which cut a 34-point deficit down to 15, and actually it got down to 13 at one point late in the final 3 or 4 minutes of this ball game. So this is not a place where I'm throwing a pity party and we're looking towards the future. There's still a lot of games left. There's still a lot of series left. And with 2 days off in between Game 1 and Game 2, I expect the best coach in the league, that is Erik Spoelstra, to make some pretty nasty adjustments for the second game. But let's look at some stats and give thoughts on some player performances as we break down this game in full. First thing that you're going to see on screen is the first thing that stands out is the bottom one. It's 3-point numbers. My keys to victory, if you watched our Terry Rozier injury update, if you watched our series preview that I put out Friday night, the number one thing that I said the Heat needed to do, well, was to have Bam be a top 2 player in the series, which he played phenomenal today. But number 2 was the Heat needed to go ballistic and shoot the lights out from beyond the arc. As you see on screen, that did not happen in Game 1. And I will go as far as to say the Heat will not win a game in this series if they get outshot from 3-point land. The only chance you have to beat this Celtics team, because they are so technically sound with their offense, with their defense, and because they are so much more talented than you with Rozier and Jimmy out, at least for the first couple of games, you need to make it up somewhere. And the way that you need to make it up is from 3-point land. And shooting 12 of 37 is just flat out not going to get it done, especially when Boston makes 22 threes. You just do the math here. That's 10 more threes than you. That's 30 points on the scoreboard. You lost by 20. Now, I'm not saying you have to make 22 threes a day, because that's not going to happen with this team that's on the current roster because of the injuries. But you needed to light them up from 3. And if we revisit the keys to victory here, Bam has to be a top 2 player in the series. I think he was number 2 today. Like, Tatum had a 20-point triple-double. The Celtics were very well balanced. I'm just looking at their stats right now. 4 of their 5 starters had 15-plus. They had 2 double-digit scorers off the bench. Like, they were very well balanced today. But Bam had 24, 10 of 17 shooting, 4-4 from the free throw line. Like, he only had 6 rebounds, which is crazy because he had 6 rebounds at halftime, which means he didn't have a rebound in the second half. But I thought Bam was really good at the his mid-range today. I liked what Bam brought to the table. Number 2, you need to line him up from 3. Like I said, they just simply didn't do that. And then the last 2, really not really that big of a deal to me because, well, this is more of a series-long thing, and I knew it wasn't going to happen in every single game. But Derrick White played pretty well. Haywood Highsmith didn't really defend Jason Tatum that often. But these 4 things, to me, need to happen for Miami to win the series, and you got 1 of 4, I'd say. Got Bam looking like a top 2 player in the series, but the other 3 didn't really occur that much to me, so I am not that concerned, but we'll continue to go through some things throughout this game and what some of my takeaways are and look ahead to Wednesday night's Game 2 game. But let me know what you guys think right now. Will the Heat win this series, yes or no? It's a tough one. Listen, you're undermanned. You were given a 1.2% chance to win the series according to FanDuel Sportsbook odds. You were plus 1,800 to win the series, and the Celtics were minus 8,000, I believe. Just ridiculous numbers that we've really never seen in a playoffs before. That's because no Jimmy and no Rozier. But will the Heat win the series? Yes or no? Get in the comment section and let me know. We are sponsored by Prize Picks. We'll talk more about this game in depth in just a second. But we are sponsored by the number 1 daily fantasy sports app in North America, which is Prize Picks. Just pick more, pick less. It's that simple, and you could win up to 100 times your money when you pick at least 4 player entries in the app right now. And if you go demon time and pick 4 demons, which is a little bit of a higher stat projection, but a higher payout because it's a higher risk, you can win up to 100 times your money. I had a 4-player entry, and I went 3 of 4, which just absolutely was a dagger into the soul. I took more than on Bam, 18 points. He had 24. I took more than on Jokic, half a point. They're giving you that freebie for Monday night's game against the Lakers. Take advantage of it right now. Took the less than on Tatum, 26. I knew that was a lock. I told Cullen, our producer, in our pregame that the biggest lock on this entry was Tatum less than 26 points. Thought that was more of a guarantee than Jokic scoring 1 basket on Monday. He scored 23. I felt confident about that. The sell job was from Mr. Herro, who only had 3 threes. I needed 4, so I did not win. If I did a flex play, I would have won. But it's not Flex Friday, so I'm not doing a flex play. Join me and millions of others at PrizePicks, prizepicks.com/CLNS, or just use code CLNS when you download the app today. Get a first deposit match up to $100. Appreciate PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video and live stream. That link will be in the description and comments of today's video. I do want to show some love to Jaime Jaquez Jr., who I thought played a pretty phenomenal game. And listen, he took 16 shots to get 16 points. And sure, that's not the most ideal thing in the world. But to me, you got to look beyond the box score here. And if you're someone who didn't watch the game and are just getting the update and stats watching this video, that's fine. But I just want you to know that Jaquez's effort was much more better than the stats showed you. Because as a first-year rookie, even though he's 22 and he's an older rookie, the poise he showed and the winning basketball that he displayed on camera for everyone today was very noticeable in my eyes. I loved what he gave you, and what he showed me is that if you do not trade him in the offseason for a star, Donovan Mitchell, which will be a conversation to be had in the offseason, and he is on your roster next season, he will be a very impactful player in the future. And as a third, fourth guy on a championship contending team, I think that's going to be someone that is very, very valuable. Listen, I also want to talk about my sweet prince, Nikola Jovic, because he had 10 points, 6 boards. The shooting percentages aren't going to be flashy. They're not going to be sexy for you. But another person that if you look beyond the box score, I was very happy with. Nikola Jovic gave it his all. He even had a block today. He fucking excuse my language, sorry for cussing, sent Jaylen Brown, who tried to go with his left hand, still has no left hand, by the way. It's so crazy that an NBA player had a full offseason to work on this and couldn't do it. Absolutely sent. Jovic, his defense has improved. Just missed a couple open threes from Nikola, but he was giving you great effort on the glass. Is he the best defender? No, but what he tells me and what shows me is the effort, and that's all I could be happy with. I think Jovic displayed a fight and a fire inside of him that we can work with going forward. Bam Adebayo was the best player for Miami today. Second best player, actually. Nah, we'll go best. Delon Wright. We'll get to it in just a second. 24 points for Bam. 10 of 18 from the field. You'll take those numbers every single day. Just upgrade the reboundings to double digits. 10 of 18, you'll take it. Oh, you're right. I was going to say I thought he made a 3, but then his foot was on the line. It was a 2. But he basically made a 3. His foot happened to be on the line. Bam, 24 points. I said he needed to be a top 2 player in the series. He gave you good defense like he always does. He also scored 24. I said he needed to average 25 and 10 this series to have a chance. I'll take what he gave me in game 1. In the second half, that was mostly a blowout. Caleb Martin fucking sucked. Sorry for cussing again, but he was terrible. 2 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. And honestly, the effort that he gave you I thought was laughable at times. I get it. It's going to be exhausting trying to chase around Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White for most of this game. But I just thought he got beat to boards a couple times. And he also didn't do us Heat fans and organization much favor by, I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know what was going on with Caleb, but it looked like he did try to take out Jason Tatum in the final minute and a half of this game. Caleb, get together and bounce back for a big game, too. Someone who needs to bounce back in this game. Tyler. I mean, my goodness, folks. My goodness. I really don't know what to say about Mr. Herro because this is one of the worst performances I've ever seen. He wasn't that good defensively. He never is. And when he's giving you this number offensively, you're just simply not going to win ball games. Like, Herro needed to be the best guard in the series, to be honest. Like, if you really think about the Heat winning this series to pull off this massive upset, you needed Tyler Herro to be better than Derrick White. You needed Tyler Herro to be better than Jrue Holiday. And he wasn't even the best guard on your own team. Like, Jaquez was better. Peyton Pritchard was arguably more impactful in his limited minutes. Like, Herro was not good, and don't be fooled. He had 2 threes in the final 4 minutes of this game, which sure cut into the lead to make it from 34 to 13 at one point, but they were meaningful threes. Herro, when this game was tight and it was competitive in the first half, Herro was god awful. And you even cut it to 12 points early in the third quarter, thanks to a big run by Jaquez and Jovic, and then Herro dribbled in the 3 guys, turned it over, and then the Celtics went on a 10-0 run themselves. Like, Herro is just bad. So bad. Haywood Highsmith with a donut, 3 boards, 3 assists. He's always going to fight defensively, but, I mean, if he's going to have to be on the floor, he's going to have to be someone who is better offensively. 0 points on 0 of 4 shooting, all of them from threes. Not acceptable. This is probably the funniest story of the night right here. Delon Wright, 17 points for Delon, 5 of 5 from 3. By the way, all 5 threes coming in the fourth quarter. Delon Wright just decided to go nuclear in the final period of this game when the game was over. I mean, listen, all of them were wide open because the Celtics kind of gave up defensively in most of that fourth quarter, so they didn't get hurt. But if Delon Wright's going to knock down open threes like that, he's going to get a bigger role in this playoff series. And if he's able to go 2 of 5 in each game, like 2 of 5, 40%, he'll find himself on the floor a lot more, and the Heat will find themselves in a lot more games because Delon Wright is still pretty solid defensively. Now, this is a good conversation to have, and I think it's a good one to close today's live show, or the show on. We don't have to go to Kevin. Let's go to Duncan. Let's go to Kevin. 7 points, all of it coming in the first half. He went 3 of 3 perfectly in that first 24 minutes. But I would be intrigued to see if we see more Bam Adebayo and Kevin Love minutes together going forward. And I love Jovic, and I love Bam as a front court duo. And Jovic did a lot of nice things. But Kevin Love has an ability that Nikola Jovic doesn't. Kevin Love can do some damage inside the paint on post-ups and on the offensive glass. Jovic, he does his damage out in transition and catching and shooting from beyond the arc. But if you work Bam and Love together, you can get designated post-ups for Kevin Love when he gets a switch from Derrick White and Jrue Holiday. He gets the smaller guy on him. He posts them up. And then when he's inevitably doubled, because they have to double him because he's too big, he can kick it out because he's a very good passer to a three-point shooter who's open and swing it like the Celtics did in the first half. Or you could have Bam sitting on the opposite wing, elbow in the mid-range, and if they send a double off Adebayo, because the closest defender there that's got some size on him, whether it be Tatum, Brown, or Porzingis, to Kevin Love to send a double, Love can just throw it over the top of him to Bam, who's there for a nice little catch-and-shoot mid-range, or cut to the rim for a dunk, or a little push shot 8-foot floater, which we did see them do on one possession late in the third quarter. Would not surprise me one bit if Kevin Love and Bam Adebayo saw a lot more time together on the floor in this series, and I would actually almost encourage it and say it's something we need to see more of. Might sacrifice Jovic's minutes, but Love and Bam are going to have to play together a lot more than the 3-4 minutes they did in Game 1. That'll do it for today's live show and video. I don't know why I said live show. It's just a normal video, but we are live for Heat vs. Celtics Game 1. We'll be live for Game 2 on Wednesday night. We will be live for every game between the Heat and Celtics, whether it be 4, 5, 6, or 7 games. We have a lot of fun, and we have the best atmosphere to watch the game. So come join us. Subscribe to the channel. We're not going anywhere. I'm Nic Rohloff. Hopefully I see you on the next live show. And even though we lost, it's always and will always be Go Heat.